finding a supplier on Alibaba and the United States. This is going to be a very long module, and I will go over most of this in a live demo at the end, so if you're confused or lost on any of it, don't worry. You can click on the live demo. I'll show you everything from looking for a US supplier on Google to looking for a Chinese supplier or other country supplier on Alibaba. I'll also show you how to message suppliers live. I'm going to go over everything in a live demo at the end of this, so you get a really good idea how to do everything. So just bear with me and stick with me for the module, and if you don't understand anything, watch the next module and it should all make sense. Finding a supplier is actually pretty simple. It's a straightforward process in this day and age. If you're looking for a supplier from overseas, for example China, you want to use Alibaba. There are other similar sites such as dhgate.com, but Alibaba is definitely number one for finding overseas suppliers. So head over to Alibaba and type in the name of the product you're looking for. On the left-hand side of the search results, you'll see a drop-down menu labeled Supplier Types. Check the boxes for On-Site Checked and Gold Supplier. This will limit the search results to manufacturers who have been personally vetted by Alibaba. Again, I'll show you a live example of all this in a few moments and it'll make a lot more sense. To find US manufacturers, you can rely on Google. You can find these manufacturers by searching for your product name plus private label, or your product name plus wholesale, or your product name plus manufacturer. Example, let's say you're trying to make rubber bands wholesale, rubber bands private label. Whatever it is, you can type in the product you're looking for and private label, wholesale, or manufacturer. US suppliers are generally a bit harder to find as there's no major platform like Alibaba, but you can still find them with a little more research on Google. Contacting manufacturers. Contacting manufacturers through Alibaba is fairly simple. Click in the listing you're interested in and click Contact Supplier. Always act if you already have an established business. Doing this will get you a lot more responses. Next, go into the Downloads folder and download the Alibaba contact form. This form makes contacting suppliers a breeze. Always try and move the conversation to Skype or to your email. The reason for this is it's very hard to trace a long conversation through the Alibaba Messenger platform. In your email, you can pull up an individual email if you're looking for a price quote or how many days it was estimated to do production for. It's much easier to find data they had previously talked about. This is an example of the Alibaba email that I'm going to give you. So again, this is tried and tested. I've used it hundreds, if not thousands of times. It works very well. You usually get a lot of responses from it, and the manufacturers will see you as an established business, and they're much more likely to respond and give you a better price. So the first line just says, your company's in the United States, you currently sell a lot of blank products, you're looking to expand your product line. You're very interested in this product. The key here is to give them the actual URL of the actual product that you're looking for. They might have 20 listings or 200 listings on Alibaba. So even though Alibaba gives them an idea of what you're looking for, if you give them the exact product, it works much better. Next, you're asking a few questions. Can you please tell me what is the MOQ or minimum order quantity and pricing on this product? Here we're doing earplugs. 2, can we private label these earplugs, our logo and design? 3, what kind of packaging options do you offer? 4, what are your product lead times for the earplugs or for the product you're looking for? 5, would it be possible to get samples of each color earplug as they have different decibel ratings? Obviously, number 5 is a more unique question, but you may need to add that depending on what type of product you're releasing. If you're releasing a foam roller and they make different patterns of the trigger point massage system on the texture, you may want to ask them, is it possible to get samples of each one, each pattern? At the end, thank you, and I look forward to working with you. Also, it'll be easier for us to communicate by email or Skype. Please reach out to me there. Name, email, and Skype at the bottom. Alright, so on to shipping terms. This is really important that you understand the basics of shipping terms. Suppliers are going to give you two main terms usually. Sometimes there's a third, but generally they'll give you two, and it's important to know what they mean. So FOB stands for freight on board. This means that a manufacturer will bring your order to the closest port. From there, it's your responsibility to transport it the rest of the way. Now, when I first heard this and I said freight on board, I didn't know that I needed to send it from their port to mine. I assumed that that meant they were shipping it directly to me, and the first order ended up being a lot more expensive than I had expected. So they'll ship it to the closest port in China or whatever country you're ordering from, but you need to make the arrangements to ship it from China to the United States, and then to your warehouse or your house or wherever you're unloading it, or your office. The next one is EXW, stands for Ex Works. This means the manufacturer will ship your order from their factory. This is great if you're shipping by air, not so great if you're shipping by sea. If this is the shipping term the manufacturer gives you, and you're still shipping by sea, you will need to arrange your own transport from their facility to the port, which can become very pricey. The next one is CFR. CFR stands for cost and freight. It's pretty much the same as FOB, but if something happens during the shipment, you're liable for the damages. So that means if something happens in the transit from their factory to the shipping dock, you're still liable for the damage, where in FOB you're not. Shipping options. Shipping is possible through many companies, such as FedEx or UPS. If your shipping is by air, these companies probably will make sense for you. If you're shipping by sea, you'll want to go with what's called a freight forwarder, at least for your first order. A freight forwarder will help you expedite your goods from the port. It's brought to you directly to your door. I recommend using a company called Shapiro. They're slightly more expensive freight forwarder, but they get the job done perfectly every single time. My first order was by sea with DHL. It was a huge disaster. It took over 3 months to get my products, and the boxes were destroyed. So much so that there were literally footprints all over my boxes. It looked like somebody played soccer with them. It was so bad that I actually had to sue DHL and won. So to avoid that headache, you can use Shapiro and they will handle everything for you. You'll have additional fees such as import duties and taxes. Shapiro, the link is www.shapiro.com. You can open up this PowerPoint and the link is right in the PowerPoint as well. Next, you'll need what's called a U.S. import bond. To import goods in quantity from another country, you'll need this U.S. import bond. This bond contains all your company's information for customs. Do not get a single entry bond, it's pointless. They offer single entry bonds or continuous bonds. Single entry bonds run around $200 and continuous, which lasts for a year, is around $375. A single entry bond requires your shipping agent or freight forwarder to manually go to the docks and sign for your goods. With a continuous entry bond, the process is done electronically, which enables your order to release much faster. Don't buy a continuous entry bond through a freight forwarder. They will seriously overcharge you to the tune of around $600. Use Roanoke Trading Services instead. This company was recommended to me by a friend who expedites all of Prada's merchandise in the United States. Their phone number is 212-747-1800. It's written right here. Just give them a call and let them know that you'd like a continuous bond, import bond for your company. They're very easy to work with, and they're very professional, based out of New York. Getting samples. Once you find a few manufacturers you're interested in, you want to get some samples of the product. Always get samples. Let me repeat that again. Always get samples. Never order a full order from a manufacturer without getting samples first. You need to get samples to evaluate the product. Don't just get samples from one supplier either. Pick the top 3 to order samples from. Order more than one sample. Otherwise, they'll pick the best of the production line and send it to you. and that won't help very much. By ordering from more than one, you can confirm the quality is consistent. You will also want to check out what options they offer for packaging. Ask them to send you all the packaging options you're interested in. So, receiving the samples. Your samples have now arrived. Exciting. Now what? Now it's time to see if these samples are the products you're looking for. Here's what to look for when you get your samples in from multiple suppliers. First, are they high quality? Did they hold up well in shipping? Do they look and feel high quality? If the answer to either of those is no, take a hard pass on the product. Number 2, is the quality consistent? Do all the samples from one supplier look and feel the same? They should be 100% consistent. No differentiation between one or the other. Are the samples from one manufacturer better than another? If so, why? Is one manufacturer's sample better than another? If so, again, why? Is it a big difference or a small difference? Differences in prices between manufacturers can greatly vary. This is something that you should take some time to analyze before deciding which manufacturer to go with. Next is which supplier had the best price and which had the best quality. Price versus quality is a big issue when choosing a manufacturer. I suggest that the price difference is small, you go with the higher end product and choose that. You will thank me in the end. Saving a few bucks at this point can end up costing a lot more down the line on returns and negative reviews. Next, can you change this product enough through private labeling to make it unique? Can you make your product different from what's on the market? If so, how? It does not need to be a major change to make it different. Maybe you can offer better packaging or better colors, but you do need to make your product stand out from the crowd. Next, and I think the most important, can you make a significant profit? What are your margins? This is the single most important part of this slide I can show you. Can you make money with this product? Make sure you factor in all the costs: shipping, freight forwarding, production, storage, and of course your overall margin. I highly recommend at least a 300% profit margin at this point. Example, if you buy a product for $5, meaning after everything, you can hold the product in your hand for $5, you should sell it for a minimum of $15. Next, can you develop a competitive advantage? What makes your product different? Maybe there's something you can add to your product that makes it so much better than your competition. A great way to discover these advantages is by taking a look at Amazon at your competitor's product and check out their 2 and 3-star reviews. See what people dislike about their products and if you can make a negative of a positive. It can be something simple. To give you an example, when I launched my car duster, I included a cleaning and care insert card, a little plastic insert card. Many of the 3 and 4-star reviews my competitors had were because the buyers did not know how to wash and clean their duster. So I had someone create a nice business card look with the cleaning instructions on Fiverr and my logo and sent the design to my manufacturer. It cost me a whole 3 cents extra to do this. And to this day, it's one of the reasons customers buy my product over my competition's. Little tiny small tweaks can be your competitive advantage. It doesn't have to be something monstrous. It doesn't have to be the next revolutionary version of the product. Just add small things that make it better. Making your first order. By now, you've likely spoken to your supplier both over email and Skype video chat. If you have not had a video chat conference yet, I highly recommend you do. Speaking face-to-face with someone increases trust and will greatly help your business relationship. Almost everyone always get everything in writing. Get the following key parts of your order in writing always. Price per unit. Minimum order quantity. Understand the shipping terms. Establish the shipping method to be used and the shipping quote. Specifics of your order. Logos, placement, packaging, etc. Then get a purchase order. All your pricing per unit, your total price, where their closest port is, that should all be in your purchase order. Make sure you receive the first order to make sure everything is correct. In the future, you may be able to ship directly to Amazon's warehouse, but not on your first order with a new supplier. Always make sure you send it to yourself first so you can inspect everything and make sure it really is correct. Paying for your first order. So now that you have everything set, you're ready to pay for your order. To pay for your order, always use either a wire transfer, PayPal, or Alibaba Trade Assurance. Never use a service like Western Union or MoneyGram, because if you do, most likely you can kiss that money goodbye forever. That money's pretty much untraceable. Once someone picks it up, it's cash, it's gone. So, how to send a wire transfer. You can send a wire transfer from pretty much any bank. The wire transfer will take a few days to be received by your manufacturer. We recommend, however, not using a bank and using American Express FX International Payments for wire transfers. Their system is easy to sign up and navigate. The bank transfer generally costs less, sometimes half of what your bank charges, and you don't need to go to your bank's physical location to make the transfer. You can do it all online. Their system is very easy. You just need to create what's called the spot payment on their system. Their staff is great. They'll be happy to walk you through your first use, which is fantastic. It makes it really easy to use. And if they think anything is not correct, they'll actually alert you and have you approve your payment before it's sent out, which is a great security feature as well. So that's pretty much it for going over everything from finding your manufacturer to finding your freight forwarder, getting samples, and then ordering your actual product and paying for your actual first set of products. I'm going to go over all of this in live demos in this module. So just click the live demos and it'll give you a further in-depth example.